What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together,
we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics.
We're back at y'all, ballin', to give you a NBA free agency update. What's going on right now in the free agency? I know you're wondering, who is your favorite teams getting? Where's your favorite player going? We have some things that's beneficial, and we'll be giving you the updates about it. So we're back at you to give you some more updates. What's going on in the NBA news, alright?
Right, updates, rumors, we got it all. So let's kick it off. Starting today, the Miami Heat. The pressure is on right now for Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. Mm-hmm. So they made some signings today to lure LeBron to stay, but will he stay? That's the question. So Josh McRoberts, former Portland Trailblazer, okay, right? Played for, obviously, the Bobcats. Last year, 8.5 points per game, 4.8 rebounds. Pretty solid. 4 years, $23 million. The Heat offered. He signed the deal, so he took it. So that gives them that Mike Miller kind of shooter that they were missing in the finals. I do like that pickup. And they also got Danny Granger on the cheap. Since he's kind of fallen off since, with the whole Pacers and the whole experiment with everything that happened. 2 years, $4.2 million.
Okay.
And he averaged, 8 points, 3 rebounds. So
he played for a little bit for the Pacers and the Clippers.
I'm more sold on McRoberts than I am Granger, but I don't really necessarily think it's a replacement for LeBron. I think it's to add depth for the bench.
Yeah, because Battier is probably going to retire.
He's retired, I think, for sure. Yeah.
But I do like Granger. My question about Granger is how healthy is he? He's been kind of banged up with the knee the last couple of years, and McRoberts is an energy guy. He can hit the three. He's going to defend in the post, and he's not going to do all that much to lose your game. He's going to do a lot of good things that you see in the box score as far as charges and blocks and things like that. So I like McRoberts. Who else are the Heat interested in since they talking about
they're interested in quite a few players right now, but the thing is it's cap money. Can you get under the cap with the talent you're trying to get? And Pau Gasol, they're very interested. Luol Deng, they're interested. Marvin Williams from, obviously, North Carolina. And Anthony Morrow. But the thing is they're not going to be able to lock in these guys, depending on what Bosh does or LeBron does. So, and speaking of Chris Bosh, we want to talk about him because he is really the key piece that's going to start everything in free agency to me. Once he signs, I think LeBron and Melo will soon sign after, and then I think the pieces will fall into place.
We got some Chris Bosh news.
Chris Bosh news, a little update here. So he hasn't signed yet, but since, kind of the talk right now with Houston, they gave a max deal to Melo. He's not going to Houston, as far as I know right now.
Yeah, I just couldn't see those three, Melo, Dwight, and Harden.
It'd be a nice little dream team there, if it did happen. But now they're focusing on Chris Bosh, so they decided to offer him the max deal, 4 years, $88 million. They may be able to shed on a little bit extra million on there, get closer to 90, and or depending on what they do, because they'll have to release Jeremy Lin to make room for the cap if they want to give him that money.
That'll be a nice fit for him. He'll be in Houston, closer to his home in Dallas. He's from Dallas. So I think that'll be a nice fit. He'll be able to stretch the floor to give Dwight a little room down there in the post. They played with Ashik and a guy that I like, Terrence Jones. Down in the post, but them two players are not can't bring what Chris Bosh can bring.
And I'm not sure if that's being overpaid, because to me that's a lot of money for Chris Bosh at the end of his career. $22 million a year for a guy that you're going to sign for 4 years, which probably only has 2 good years left, and then 2 mediocre years before he retires. So I'm not really sure, but I know for Houston's sake that might be good for them. But what does that do for Terrence Jones' development? That was supposed to be baby Chris Bosh.
I like Terrence Jones.
And I like Terrence Jones too. So we're going to have to kind of see if Chris Bosh, takes that deal. If he does sign that deal, I almost guarantee you LeBron will leave Miami, because, if you're going to break up the trio there, you're not going to be able to find another player to bring in that's going to be on Bosh's level, and I think the snowball effect will happen. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. A couple other things for news. Zach Randolph, Z-Bo, another former Blazer. Portland Trailblazer. We loved him out here when he was here. He signed a 2-year extension with the Grizzlies. I knew that he'd probably do that because he likes it out there. He got him and Marc Gasol, Conley. They got a nice little fit there.
Nice little chemistry going on.
Nice little chemistry there. And, they may not get back to that Western Finals, that they were, hoping to get to. But, they're kind of an up-and-coming team, and it takes a little while after you get, let go.
They're working.
They let go of Lionel Hollins. I thought that was a huge mistake, but, we'll see if that was the right move for them. But I do like the move of getting Zach Randolph 2 more years.
Shout out to Z-Bo.
Shout out to Z-Bo.
Double there.
Right?
10 and 10. That's his name.
And then Channing Frye. another former Portland
I
Trailblazer.
heard something about Channing Frye. I hope it's good news.
So good news for Channing Frye. He's not injured. You know, he doesn't got any new heart condition, but he did decide to leave Phoenix Suns, and he got he left Phoenix because he got more money. He's going to get 4 years, $32 million.
Ooh.
Right? He's getting paid, right?
Channing Frye,
right?
Congratulations.
Right? Orlando Magic.
Oh.
So you let go Jameer Nelson. You made some room there. I think that's a good fit for him. And he started all 82 games, after the heart condition the year before. Pretty solid numbers, 11 points, 5 rebounds a game. But check this out. Out of 48 minutes in a full game, he only averaged about 28 minutes. So, I mean, just imagine if he averaged about 35, he could get you about 15 a game.
I'm just looking at their starting 5. You got Vucevic,
right?
And Channing Frye,
right?
Just drafted Gordon,
right?
Oladipo,
right?
And Peyton at the point guard.
Yeah, they're starting to build a little squad there. It may take a couple years, but I do like what they're doing.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Orlando Magic, shout out to Orlando. That's a nice little move that you made. And then as far as we're going to go to the last two, Melo and Lance Stevenson.
Okay.
So, obviously, once Chris Bosh decides to sign, I think the Melo pieces are going to fall into place. And right now, the contenders for Melo are obviously the Knicks, where he can get the most money, 5 years, $129 million. That's getting paid.
Do we want to chase the ring?
Right, or does he want to chase the ring, or does he want to play with Kobe? And the Lakers now have become a front runner between the Knicks and the Lakers, and he can get a little bit less money, 4 years, $97 million, but you get to play with Kobe Bryant, one of the best ever.
Maybe Pau Gasol.
And then you already got Julius Randle in the draft, so that's a nice little squad, very intriguing. You actually could probably get more wins there than you could with the Knicks, but you probably could make the playoffs a lot easier in the East Coast than in the West with all the talent there. But it would be a nice to see, I think, for fans, besides Blazer fans. We don't want to see Melo in LA because we already know that's going to be a hassle. But I think he would look good in a Laker uniform. What do you think?
I like the idea of Melo joining the Lakers. I mean, how often are you going to get a chance to play with Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol and try to win the ring? You're getting towards the end of your career.
Right.
I think now you realize that you need help. You can't. There's no more Michael Jordans out in the NBA right now who can just will their team to championships. You need teams and you need help.
Right, and I think with Melo, too, it's a great transitional piece because you got to think Kobe's going to leave in about a year or two, and what does LA always have on their squad? Typically, a superstar. So you have one superstar retire, you have another superstar just to take the role, and then LA still, nice and breezy, LA with all its Jack Nicholsons and all their famous superstars, out there.
LA, Melo, man.
So that might be a done deal. We'll have to wait and see if he wants the money or if he wants to play with Kobe. So that's kind of the word right now. And then last but not least, Mr. Lance.
My man, I always had your back, Lance, all the time.
Lance, Born Ready Stevenson.
Always had.
So Pacers offered 5 year, $44 million. He felt disrespected. That actually is a pretty good deal. But
that's pretty nice.
Right, but the Mavericks, Lakers, and Celtics are all interested.
Oh.
Right? But the thing is the Mavs also want Chandler Parsons, Luol Deng, and Trevor Ariza. So that might kind of hinder, how much effort they put into the contract for him. But just imagine if the Lakers could get him. That could be a nice little substitute for Melo if Melo decides not to come, and then you bring in Lance Stevenson. I think that would be a nice fit for the Lakers there as well.
And he can kind of hold the torch after because he's only 23. So.
Yeah, he's a young buck.
Not saying he'll be Kobe, but he can have a smoother transition from when Kobe retires because you already have a starter.
Right. So that's kind of the news for today in NBA free agency. Stay tuned. I really think things are going to start heating up here in the next few days.
Soon, yeah.
And like I said, all it takes is that first superstar to sign, maybe Chris Bosh, and then all the pieces are going to start falling into place. Don't be surprised if Bosh goes to Houston. Don't be surprised if LeBron goes back to Cleveland. It could be a real possibility now.
Wade going back.
And I think Wade will stay in Miami. And like I said, you could have Melo stay with the Knicks. You could have the big three stay in Miami. But I think this deal that Bosh is considering, I think he feels in his heart that LeBron's leaving. And so I think that he might end up taking this money. He already has a couple rings. I mean, what else does he have to really accomplish?
Play back home in Texas.
Right, go play home in Texas. Go play with Dwight Howard. Go play with James Harden. I mean, it might be a little dream come true for Chris Bosh. So
there you have it.
There it is.
Quick shout out to the Final Four in the World Cup.
Right.
Germany versus Brazil tomorrow.
Right, no Neymar. No Silva. That's very disappointing, but we'll have to see if Brazil can bring their A game. And then I think, a few days later,
Netherlands
right,
versus Messi.
That man. So
Make sure y'all
Argentina.
check that out.
So that's the Final Four. So we'll have to see, who wins. If you got a DVR, you better DVR it tomorrow.
Yes.
And we'll stay tuned and see what happens.
Last thing, less than 60 days, football.
Training camp. Let's go, NFL.
Northwest Sports Fanatics.
Northwest Sports Fanatics.